This is the Growlers Nation Podcast, the official podcast of the Newfoundland Growlers. And now, here's your host, Growlers play-by-play voice, Chris Ballard.
Thank you and welcome to episode 7. Can't believe we're already at 7 episodes of the Growlers Nation Podcast. I'm Chris Ballard, play-by-play broadcaster of the Newfoundland Growlers. So thankful you guys keep wanting these, and we'll keep churning them out for you. And we've got a great show lined up today. Let's get right to it. Sitting beside me, ready to go, number 13 on your Newfoundland Growlers, number 1 in our hearts, I guess. It is Riley Woods. Riley, thanks for doing this today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Let's just jump right in. You're 12 games in as we record here today into your professional career. Kind of sum it up. Is it everything you thought it would be and more?
Yeah, for sure.
Silly question.
Yeah, the league's been really good to me. I know the players and coaches are really good here. I know people kind of talk down the East Coast League or whatever, but you know what, the league is a really good league. I was surprised when I came in here. No, everybody wants to make it to the American League and everything like that. So no, it's been everything but good.
Talk a bit more about that. Did you have a perception on what the ECHL was, say, when you were kind of finishing out your junior career? Because everyone, you want to think, okay, I'm at least going to make the American League,
yeah.
You know? And I know a lot of guys, I think back in the day, the ECHL definitely had a bit of a bad rep, a bit of a goon league.
Yeah.
I know you've learned quickly that is not the case, but did you have an impression what the ECHL really was?
I think my first impression was like you said, it was kind of a goon league. You kind of say that, but no, when I started coming in here, no, there's pretty skilled players, pretty good players that can play hockey pretty well, and no, I think that was the biggest thing that coming in here before was that I always thought it wasn't as good of a league. It wasn't a great league to play in, but no, it's been nothing but great, and it's pretty good hockey for sure.
No, absolutely. Talk about your early season success. What are you up to already? 6 goals?
Yeah.
I mean, did you set a goal for yourself, I guess, starting the season? You're like, I want to start strong, or this is what I want to do. Kind of what was your mindset, I guess, heading into your first pro campaign?
I kind of just want to build confidence for myself. I think those first 2 games that I played, I scored my first goal in my first game.
Yeah,
I think that was the biggest thing to get out of the way for me. I think just my main goal is trying to just do what I can every game, produce every game, and hopefully just keep getting wins for sure.
Oh, for sure. Let's backpedal a couple of months here. You signed your first pro contract, ironically enough, on the day the Growlers actually won their Kelly Cup last season. Why the decision, if I can ask, to sign with the Marlies over however many other teams may have been vying for your services? What was it, or was there anything about the Marlies and the Leafs organization that drew you to signing on the dotted line?
It was actually a funny thing. I was a huge fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs growing up. I actually had my whole room painted Toronto Maple Leafs and everything. Yeah, it was pretty funny. My uncle got me into them pretty early at a young age, so I think that it was pretty funny, and it was pretty cool. No, I think I had a pretty good playoffs last year. We made it to the third round in the WHL with Spokane there, so yeah. I think that obviously helped my case a little bit. And no, I think the Leafs and Marlies came knocking on my door, and it was probably one of the best things I've signed in the past couple of years. So no, it's been really good. The organization's really good. They've treated me well. They're a pretty top class organization, and it's been good.
No, absolutely. And talk about your first, I guess, American League camp. I know you had a busy summer. You were in the prospects camp as well, weren't you? Kind of sum up your first summer post-junior.
No, it was really good. No, I had a really good summer leading up to Traverse City. I was up in Toronto for a development camp as well,
right?
Which is really cool. You got to meet a lot of the players that were drafted and everything, and meet all the new coaches of the development staff with Pelly and those guys. No, that was really good. I had a really good showing there, and then I had a really good summer of training, and then headed up to Traverse City, where it was a really good tournament. No,
I was gonna say, what was that like? I watch it every year, and it enthralls me.
Yeah, it's a fast-paced tournament. No, there's a lot of good players that are moving up. There's a lot of good players there that are playing in the NHL right now too. So it was crazy. It just shows you how much you have to work to get to that next level. And no, it was awesome. It was a great experience for myself and obviously other players. And no, it was good.
So you're a Sasky boy. How did you become a Leaf fan? Now I will ask this, but before you can answer, is there an allegiance in Saskatchewan for any particular team? Do you, as a population, do the fans kind of steer west? Are they Canucks and Oilers and Flames fans? Do you veer east? How did you end up a Leaf fan?
My uncle was a very huge Leafs fan. He has all the
Okay.
action figures. He used to buy me all the hockey figures growing up, so I had a whole trophy thing in my room with all the
Like
Leafs
McFarlane
players.
figures?
Yeah,
or-
Matt Sundin,
Yeah.
Ed Jovanovski, all those guys. So
No way.
yeah, I think that was the biggest thing was my uncle really steered me up to being a Leafs fan. And I think in Saskatchewan, it's kind of just everybody wants to cheer for a Canadian team. So I think that was the biggest thing, and no, I think Toronto's been my team ever since. So.
Nice. What do you think of the state of the current Maple Leafs organization? Lots to look forward to.
Oh yeah, it's awesome though. They have a lot of good players up there. They have a lot of good prospects as well coming up. And
Darn right.
Yeah. So hopefully I can make it up there someday, but it's a dream right now.
No, absolutely. I'm going to make you look back on your last, your last few years of junior. I know you started with the Regina Pats. You're a Regina boy. Was that a big deal for you to be able to play for your hometown team?
Yeah, it was amazing. No, the first 2 years in Regina was really good. Playing in front of my friends and family it was a pretty cool feeling. I'm playing in my first WHL game. It was like yesterday that I did that, and no, it was pretty cool.
No kidding. Do you remember your first WHL goal? Was that at home?
Yes, it was at home. We were playing the Vancouver Giants, and Sam Steele actually passed me the puck for the first goal, so that was pretty cool.
No big deal. Name dropping.
Yeah.
So, and then you ended up moving to the Spokane Chiefs, playing with friend of the program, Hudson Elynuik. Any dish, any grease on Ellie you can share?
I don't have too much on him, no, but
He's a good kid.
He's a good guy. He's kind of a goof sometimes, but
that's a fact.
That's as usual.
What was the difference, say, playing in Spokane compared to playing at home?
I think the biggest difference was not playing with friends, not playing in front of friends and family for sure. Also, it's a different atmosphere for sure. They kind of treat it in the States like an event, like a I don't know, like a show that you want to go see.
Yeah.
But they treat it like entertainment, and you go there, and there was about 8,000 fans, 7,000 fans a game.
Get out.
In Regina, there was only about 4,000 fans that came to games, so it was big. It was big that way, and no, it's just a big step with building and stuff, moving away for.
Yeah.
I think it was 13.
Were you
hours
living
away
at
from
home with mom and dad when you were still at home?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, no, it was nice that way. I got home cooked meals and everything. It was really good, but. It was honestly a great experience moving away. I know I had great billets in Spokane. They were very nice to me, and no, it was nothing but good there.
So you're painting the picture of someone who may not have yet discovered how to really cook for yourself. Is that true?
Yeah.
Because this would have been the first year out completely on your own, having to fend for yourself, and I know the team takes care of you guys. How would you rate your culinary abilities on a scale from 1 to 10?
I think I'd be like probably a 6 or 7 right now. Like I can cook meals. It's just like I don't have enough recipes to cook. I should
get
say.
That.
No, I can fend for myself. I know how to cook. I know how to barbecue steak. I know how to barbecue chicken and stuff like that. So, no, I've been good that way, and yeah, I've been eating pretty good.
No kidding. So I will turn that into our first question about the great province of Newfoundland and Labrador. This opens up kind of be an ongoing Growlerville segment where we talk about the great province of Newfoundland and Labrador, and I'm just going to pick your brain about what you've gleaned away from this wonderful province. The food here is known to be pretty unique and pretty seafood driven. Do you feel you've really experienced Newfoundland cuisine in and of itself yet?
I don't think I've experienced it too much. I have went for sushi about 3 times now.
That's Japanese food.
It's been really good, but I haven't had any seafood yet. So
Have you had any fish and chips?
No, I haven't, not yet.
Okay, yeah. And there's all right. We'll park this part of it for the next. I'm going to follow up with you maybe later on in the season. Talk a bit about, I guess, your Newfoundland and your St. John's experience here. I guess my first question. What was your reaction when you heard, all right, you're going to Newfoundland, that's where you're going to start your pro career? Did you have to, Google much about, kind of what was your reaction and the first things you did when you found out you were bound for the Rock?
I didn't actually know too much about St. John's. All I knew is it was pretty far, and I heard that it was cold, and it was somewhere.
All accurate.
Yeah, by the ocean. So, no, I didn't know too much about it, but I was talking to the guys, and they said you're gonna have a blast there. The people are always friendly, and they'll always invite you out or whatever. And no, it was good. Ever since I got here, people have been treating me nicely, and I actually took a tour of George Street a couple times, and that was pretty cool on the weekend.
Nice.
So, no, it's been pretty good.
Have you been to Signal Hill, Cape Spear yet?
I went on a hike. It was
Nice.
It wasn't Signal Hill. It was the one next to it. I wasn't too sure what it was called though.
really the two kind of main landmarks down here are Cape Spear, which is as far east as you can go in North America without getting wet.
Yeah.
and Cabot Tower, Signal Hill being the obviously.
Okay. Then it probably was one of those. I wasn't too sure though.
But obviously you got out hiking. That's cool enough.
It was amazing.
What did you like about, I guess, what you stumbled upon in your exploration?
Yeah, it was amazing. We walked right by the harbor there. I
Awesome.
saw the boats and everything parked there, and all the shipment boats and everything like that. And then we hiked up the mount, like a hill kind of mountain. We saw over the ocean. It was really cool. Yeah,
that's awesome. Hey,
it was awesome.
No kidding. And great building here in St. John's at Mile One Center. Great fans. Kind of speak to that a little bit. I'm sure this is it can be overwhelming at times how this place can get.
Yeah, it's awesome. No, it's been really good. The fans have been really good here. It was a great facility coming in. It's you feel at home here. It wasn't much of a transition from Spokane. It's great fans, great facility, and it's been good.
When did you first learn about the Growlers? Obviously, you signed your first deal, like I said, on the day the Growlers won it all last season. Is that something, I'm sure it wasn't really on your radar. You were busy at that time. When did you first hear about and kind of learn that, hey, not only am I coming to this weird place called Newfoundland, I'm coming on to a team that just won the whole darn thing. When did that kind of factor in?
Obviously, when I played with Hudson Elynuik, I have him on Instagram and everything, and I saw he won a championship and everything. I think that's when it came on my radar and everything.
Yeah.
And when I came to Leafs camp and then Marlies camp, I heard about the Newfoundland Growlers, and they had a great team last year, and we hopefully we can do the same thing again this year.
Darn right. That's what we're hoping. We're here with Riley Woods, forward for your Newfoundland Growlers. So you were here for Leafs camp then?
Yep.
So what was that experience like in and of itself?
It was crazy. It was awesome. It was really good. So
your first NHL camp?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Kind of sum it up. Not only are you taking in your first camp, and I know I would be starstruck by half of the guys that were there, but you're also here in Newfoundland for the first time then. Kind of sum up that experience, because I know you know that the fan experience there was absolutely crazy. Mm-hmm. People lined up around the corners just to watch the groups skate. Kind of give me your full picture of your training camp.
No, it was really good. It was crazy. All the fans here, it was amazing. So the fans loved it here. The fans loved us, and everybody lining up. It was pretty cool. Seeing all the pro guys was amazing, and it just shows you how good you have to be to play in the league. So
no, for sure.
It was anything but good.
Now, I know you guys, you've been playing with guys who have ended up in the NHL and stuff. Is there any bit at all of the whole starstruck thing? You're like, no big deal, I'm on the ice with Austin Matthews, one of the greatest players in the world. Does that happen at all, or is it just, no, you're more boys than anything else?
Yeah, it does happen. When I cheered for the Maple Leafs when I was younger.
That's right.
And everything, so it was pretty cool seeing some of the big guys come up. But when I was in with the Marlies back in Toronto, it was obviously the guys on the other ice playing platform, and it's crazy seeing that those guys are out there.
Right, it still is, right?
Yeah.
I don't get over that. Like I said, every now and then last season, the Growlers would have played at or practiced at the, I guess what's now called the Ford Performance Center there, the old MasterCard Center, and low key, I never get over getting to watch the Maple Leafs practice. I just wondered if that kind of crept in, even though you're pros and you've been around the game, and you've seen guys of a similar ilk and similar skill set. I always wondered, does that really register? But let's turn our focus. What do you like to do now in your free time? You have an off day here. What are you going to do the rest of the day here after you and I are done?
Well, the boys actually just downloaded the new Call of Duty here, so yeah, we were going to go home and play some video games and everything. So that's
I'm in the way of you gaming right now. So that kind of answers my question. What's your platform? Are we a PC gamer? Are we a Nintendo Switch kind of guy? You don't strike me like a Switch guy. What I'm gonna guess it's either Xbox or PlayStation. Fill me in.
Yeah, I'm a PS4 guy. Yep, always
man.
have been. So
what's your go-to? Give me your top 3 games right now.
Top 3 games: Fortnite.
Shocker.
Probably the new Call of Duty right now, and NHL probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep.
I always seem to ask this. This should be a segment of some kind. Who's the worst Fortnite player on the team? I know it's popular in our locker room, and I understand that, but I love throwing guys under the bus. Who would you say is the best? We'll give some guys some credit, and who's the worst?
Okay, so I think the best in the past month that I've been here and playing, I think Johnny's probably one of the best Fortnite players I've seen.
Garrett Johnston?
Yep. Garrett Johnston.
Why?
Yep.
What makes a good Fortnite player? I don't play the game. Sum it up for the plebes out there like me.
I guess what makes you a good Fortnite player is that you can build I think he's really good at editing builds and building and trapping guys and getting high ground on everybody. So I think he's probably the best at Fortnite right now.
And now the worst.
Yeah, now it goes for the worst. I love the guy, but I think Todd Skirving is probably the worst for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What about Skirvs? He's a friend of the program. We can definitely dish on Skirvs a little bit. Why?
Yeah.
What's he lacking?
He's lacking building build skills for sure. He's actually he is getting better, but I think he's just sometimes when guys come up on him, he starts to panic, and it's funny.
Just like on the ice.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to say that, even though it's not true. Yeah. What else do you like to do? What do you like to listen to? I guess. Are you a headphones in while you're getting dressed kind of guy? Is music important to you?
Yeah. Obviously, I have music in my life for sure, but as far as like before games and stuff, I don't usually have headphones in. I like to hear everything around me. I like hearing the guys talk, staying loose and everything like that. I know some guys like having headphones in and everything, but we also just play music in the room, which is really good. I like listening to that stuff. So,
what's your take on Newfoundland music so far? I know there's enough of it spilling out of the locker room on most days. What's your take on kind of the Celtic, Irish, Newfoundland style music?
No, it's pretty good. I honestly like it. I think my first Newfoundland song that I heard was "Heave Away."
Yep.
Not
shocked to hear that
right now. So, yep, it's not bad for sure.
Not bad. Yeah. All right, we'll change that opinion for sure. If you were to say put on some tunes in your headphones, what would you play? What do you listen to?
I listen to everything. I'm a country guy, hip hop guy. I can listen to rock too, Nickelback and stuff like that. So
that's your rock example,
yeah.
Nickelback.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a very short episode. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, of course. What are you binging? People binge things these days. What's on your Netflix playlist right now?
So, my Netflix playlist is Riverdale right now. A new episode comes out every week, every Thursday, so I've been watching that for sure.
Nice.
Yep, I haven't been into too much Netflix right now. I've more been video games, but when it comes down to it, I also watch Prison Break as well.
Classic.
Yeah, it's a really
Great
good
show.
one. Yep. So I think Riverdale's my biggest one. I enjoy it. So. Yeah.
Have you heard of this new Disney Plus one?
Oh yeah, I heard that just came out.
Yeah, very recently. What's your take there? A lot of good content.
Oh, a lot of good movies on there for sure.
We're getting off topic by a whole lot here,
yeah.
But hey man, that's important. You
you
gotta find stuff to do away from the game. We're here with Riley Woods of your Newfoundland Growlers, and this is funny. I kind of came up with this. So as a rookie in pro hockey, obviously you're going to want to be successful in every level. If there was such thing as a rookie year bingo card, what tabs do you think are left to scratch off? You're like, actually, I'm kind of looking forward to getting into my first fight. Oh, I haven't had a hat trick yet. Gordie Howe hat trick. So if you had like a list of things, you're like, man, it'd be cool in my rookie season if I could do this, and this to get rookie bingo, if you will. What's left? What are you hoping to do?
I think I scratched off my first goal right away for
Yep.
sure. That was the biggest thing. I think. That's a very good question. I think that was the biggest thing. Was my first goal. Obviously, I had one game where I scored 2 goals. That was obviously another big thing for me as well. Actually, I think my first fight, I kind of want to get it, but it'll
at the
come
same
when
time.
it comes.
Yeah. You can't plan or stage.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
one.
So I think those are probably 3 of the biggest ones that I have on my list. For
your last year a junior, you had a heck of a year. You were WHL West second All-Star team, 29 goals, 46 apples, 75 points. What went well for you in your last year a junior there? No,
I had a great coach back in Spokane. No, I learned a lot from him last year. It's probably one of the biggest learning years for sure. We had a great team, great land that I played with up there. No, I think just opportunity. I had confidence in myself. I was an older guy going into the league, and I had a pretty good year for sure.
For a young guy, I will say this, and this is not a judgment in any stretch. You have a nice amount of ink for a young fella. Right?
Yeah.
Would you mind explaining what he on his right arm here? I'm seeing some trees and some landscape. If you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, my first tattoo that I was gonna get was for my brother who passed away. Yeah, he had a hole in his heart when he was younger. So, I have a couple birds up here. I got a halo around a bird up here as well for all my family members and everything. Also a wolf that symbolizes strength was one of the biggest things for myself. And I kind of just added in the waterfall coming up the tricep here, or
It's a nice piece. That's why I brought it up. Every time I see you not in your gear, I'm like, I can't help. I'm drawn to it a little bit. But is that the only one you have? Kind of the full
this is all
sleeve?
I have. Yeah.
Plans for more?
Yeah, I'm planning on getting another sleeve this summer. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And maybe a little Newfoundland influence. Because I know a lot of the guys who were here last year ended up with some tats with the rock on it in some way, shape, or form. Granted, they did win the whole thing. What was your reaction, I guess, to that on opening night? Getting to see the banner go up, seeing the boys get their rings, a week later. Kind of what was your reaction as a guy, obviously getting to see what you're getting into laid right out in front of you?
Yeah, obviously it was great. No, I've seen all the boys go up there for sure. No, they had a great team last year, and hopefully we can do it again this year. I think the biggest thing taken from that is that we can honestly do it again this year. We have a great group of guys, and we have a lot of older veterans that were there last year that know what it takes to get there, and we have a really good chance this year for sure.
I think you're absolutely right. Talk about the Newfoundland contingent on the team. I'm talking about Meller, O'Brien, Marcus, and even Adam Party. What do you glean? What is there a common thread between all the Newfie guys? Is there? Because I'm the first one to admit they are a fun bunch. That crew. What can you tell me about these guys?
No, they're honestly great guys, very nice guys. They know St. John's like the back of their hand. They've been here for probably the whole life. No, they're great guys. They know what Newfoundland's all about. They kind of steer the younger guys in the right direction in Newfoundland, and they're really good veterans this year.
Have you been Screeched In yet?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Tell me everything.
No, I think there was about 9 of us. We were out.
Really?
Yeah, we were kind of did it as a team thing, so it was awesome. The guy that did it, I forget his name, but he was really good at what he does.
Yeah.
He was dressed up in his old yellow and
the sou'wester and the whole
and everything, and it was awesome. We had to.
The whole song and dance. Did you ate the bologna?
Yeah.
What was? I mean, is bologna a regular part of your diet? I certainly hope not.
I like the bologna. I know a couple
delicious.
Other guys didn't like it, but I thought it was really good.
Who doesn't like bologna? It's delicious.
Yeah.
And what about the taste of the good old Screech rum? Was it as bad as you were anticipating?
It was good and bad. It was really warm going down the throat for sure, but. It didn't have the greatest taste, but I handled it. A couple of the guys weren't having it, but that's all I can say about that.
And how were you with the recitation of the verse? Long may your big jib draw.
Yeah,
how did that? How's your Newfoundlandese coming?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's getting there.
Give me a yes by, and we'll see.
Yes, bye.
That's not bad. That's not bad. You've been hanging around with Meller and Obi too long, I think. We're going to jump into a couple of Q&A questions here sent in by our wonderful listeners. We're going to start off with Rod Z. Which hockey players, past and present, do you consider your greatest influences?
I think in the past, when I was in Regina, Jordan Eberle was playing for Regina Pats.
Yeah.
He was probably one of my biggest influencers. He was a smaller guy, quick hand, skilled player. It was always fun to watch him every night when I went to watch a Pats game. So I think he was one of my biggest ones when I was in the past. I think it's Austin Matthews, honestly.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty crazy because I'm in the same organization as him.
Right.
So it's
not
he's
too
one
far
of my
at
biggest influences for sure.
That's awesome. Thank you to Rod Z for that question. Todd S. That seems familiar. Has submitted a question. Who is the loudest snorer on the team? And he is asking on behalf of Reed J. Okay, I don't know why this is a question, but maybe you can fill me in on the backstory.
Yeah, funny story. I actually live with Jackie at home, and one night I was sleeping, and he was probably still up. I had my door open probably halfway, and he kept hearing something outrageous, and he just came over to my room and literally videotaped me sleeping. And apparently I was snoring outrageously loud, and that's why that came above. Yeah, but
I thought this was going to be about him being the loud snorer, but it's you.
Well, but then plot twist, we were actually in the airport, and I forget who was rooming. I think Todd rooms with Jackie.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and Scurvy showed me a video of Jackie snoring, and it was a lot louder than mine was.
No.
So
we've got some snoring drama in the Growlers locker room.
So I think it's Reed right now. for sure.
That great answer.
He could probably say differently, but I think it's him.
Great answer. Talk a bit about the culture of going on the road. I know especially here, it's a lot of long road trips. You're away from home for a long time in buses and planes and hotels and airports. We're not far removed from the first road trip of this season. How was that for you in terms of getting used to the pro game? I'm still getting used to going on the road. It is, a lot of times it's awesome, a lot of times it's dreadful. Yeah. How did you like it?
I'm honestly, I don't mind the road. I think we obviously get to fly places, which is a lot different thing than what I've done. But as far as it comes as busing, I've been doing it for the past 4 years in junior, and we've had long bus rides, like 22 hours, 23 hours, coming from Spokane going up to Prince George, which is pretty crazy. But I'm used to all the bus rides and stuff like that. But when it comes to flying, it's all new to me right now, and it hasn't been too bad right now.
How are you with flying? Are you a good flyer?
I'm a good flyer. Yep.
Okay, no, because there's been a couple of landings we've had already. Yeah. I remember had kind of little topsy-turvy trying to touch down on this darn windy rock of ours.
Yeah, for sure.
No, absolutely. What about some of the cities we've gotten to experience so far? I'm a big fan of Portland, Maine myself. Do you get a chance to get around much in any of these towns?
I've never actually heard of any of these towns. These are probably one of the first times I've ever actually heard about like Reading and Portland, like you said, and I didn't know much about where we were going, so
no kidding.
It's kind of learning curve for myself.
But I mean, we spent a ton of time saying Portland, like that's a city a lot like St. John's. I love Portland. Like, did you get a chance? I guess when you go on the road and you're in a city for a couple of days, because I know in say a 3-and-3, you don't see anything but the rink in your hotel room.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to go around a city like Portland?
We didn't actually get to go too much. I know we obviously have to find food for ourselves on day offs and stuff, go for supper and stuff. But we were kind of just downtown, and it seems to be like a nice, pretty city.
No, for sure.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, well, I'm going to jump in and I'll ask you this: who on the Growlers? Again, I love the best worst thing. Obviously, we're in the middle of Movember right now, a cause very important to a lot of guys on the team. I see you're sporting something resembling a mustache. You get a pass for that because you're my guest today.
Yeah.
Who's got the best and worst Movember stash on the team right now? Because there's some good ones, but there's some grease down there too.
Yeah, I think the best one is Alex Goodbranson.
Hands down.
Hands down.
The only acceptable answer.
Yeah, he's got quite the mustache for sure. He kind of looks like a police officer.
Well, we've nicknamed him the officer on the broadcast all the way from if you see that guy wearing aviator sunglasses, he looks like someone he's about to pull you over. Now, the worst. There's a couple of real bad ones.
Real bad ones for sure. I think Justin Brazo has a pretty bad one.
I didn't even know he was growing one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Braz.
Yeah. Trey is a little baby face little guy, so he doesn't grow anything. So that's another one.
Rate yourself right now. This is not me trying to say that it's bad. I'm an awful mustache grower. Yeah. How do you feel you're doing? Holding up?
I don't feel I'm not doing that bad. I think it's pretty good. I think I'm about probably a 5 or 6 for sure.
I think that's fair. I think you're about right. You're not overreaching. Is there anyone that you say is like the funniest guy on the team or anything like that?
I think Todd Skirving's starting to get on my high books. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. We get along pretty well, so it's nice to have guys like that in the room that keeps things loose. So
talk about, I guess, kind of the next upcoming stretch here with us. Obviously, we're sitting here actually watching the Toledo Walleye practice as we speak. I know that surely you've learned a fair bit about what this team means to the Growlers, having defeated them in the playoffs last season in the finals to win it all. What do you expect? What can we expect here this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2 really good games. No, I think they're probably going to want some redemption from the finals last year. They're a pretty good team this year again, and I think they're going to come out ready to play.
And you said there's a member of their team who was like one of your coaches in like summer hocky?
Yeah, when I was younger.
What the heck is going on there?
Yeah, he's out here actually, I think, right now, so it's pretty cool. It's going to be funny if I can get in this Saturday. It'd be really good.
No, so who is it? It's Brendan
Kotick, yeah.
And it's summer league. When was he your coach? Give me a bit of that story.
This was a while ago. This was probably when I was about 9 or 10 for sure. It was a while ago, probably 11 years ago, and he was on
like
the ice
hockey
with us,
schools or something.
Yeah, it was. We had AAA summer hockey team, and we traveled to tournaments and stuff. We played, and he was always on the ice with us. So
how old would he have been then? I'm putting you on the spot here.
I know, he would probably have been.
Because he's not an old guy. He's older than you, but he's not an old guy.
I don't know. I think he probably would have been He probably would have been 17 or 18, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, playing junior, I think. I think so, yeah.
So if you
junior.
get out there, you're going to chirp him?
Well,
is it your buds now? What's the deal?
We're pretty good. We're pretty good buddies, but he's also 6'6" on skates, so I don't know if I'd probably chirp him too much. But yeah, he's a good buddy of mine for sure.
No, for sure. So like you said, I know you're not the biggest nor the smallest guy. Do you feel like there's a particular player out there who you play a similar style of game to, or you try to emulate?
In this league, or in just like
in general in hockey,
general?
If you're like,
okay.
yeah, I try to be like Datsuk or whatever,
yeah.
you know.
I think one of my biggest things was trying to be like Datsuk when I was younger. Actually, I know you threw that name out, which is kind of weird, but
I'm reading your brain.
Yeah, but he was probably one of my biggest. He's a two-way forward, skilled guy, and yeah, he was probably one of my biggest guys to look up to for sure.
And you mentioned earlier about video games. I'm gonna go in on Chell. What's your rating in Chell right now? Do you know what it is?
I think it's 68, I think 68 or 67, something like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's like, I mean, all things considered. I mean, you're not going to come in your first year in the coast and be like a 90, but yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I think my first time I saw myself in the NHL game was when I played in Regina my first year. I think was the.
What was your rating then? 55.
Yeah, it was low. Yeah, for sure.
They don't give any credit to the junior kids.
No, they don't.
They really don't.
Yeah.
Rate your Chell proficiency?
I'm not the greatest Chell player for sure by any means, but I'm not bad. I can do. I think the best Chell players on the team right now are probably Joe Duzak and Mac Hollowell. They're a really good team together. But I'm not huge into Chell, but I can play.
Talk a bit more about Doozy and Mac Hollowell. They really are connected at the hip. Both play a similar game, have a bit of grit for being small defensemen, oozing with skill. Kind of talk about them. They're like the Bobbsey twins, I feel like.
Yeah, they live at home together. You always don't want to catch them in the same room, but that's just me.
What does that mean?
No, they're good guys. They're a couple of goofballs, and I don't know. They're good guys to have in their room. They're very good hockey players, really skilled, very good D-man to have on your team for sure.
All right, I think that's enough here. We've taken up more than enough of Riley Woods' time here today. Riley, thanks so much for jumping on with me, my friend, and all the best moving forward.
Thank you for having me.
Riley Woods of your Newfoundland Growlers, and that's going to do it for episode 7 of the Growlers Nation Podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts now, finally, so make sure you actually get in there and rate us 5 stars and leave comments and tell them how much you love it so we get into that algorithm and everybody can tune in to the ECHL's favorite podcast, the Growlers Nation Podcast. Thank you all again so much for joining us. I'm Chris Ballard, and you can listen to all of our games on Mixler.com/NL Growlers. Follow me on Twitter at Growlers Ballard. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Growlers Nation Podcast with Chris Ballard. Follow the Growlers all season long on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at NL Growlers. Listen live to all 72 Growlers games on Mixler, MIXLR.com/NL Growlers.